All right, good evening, everyone. Here, let's go ahead and get started on this Facebook Live. We do have a tornado warning in effect in Guadalupe County until 11:45. And actually, to be completely honest, caught me a little off guard here that the Weather Service issued that. They've actually already acknowledged that the tight little area of rotation has already sort of unraveled a little bit. But still, let's get you covered in what as we switch this around. All right, so I'm going to kind of do this on the fly here, but let me go ahead and stop this. I want to bring this back, and it was right about here. You go just a little bit in, right about in there. You see right in here, that was the little spin up. That's what we call a velocity couplet. Air moving away from the radar, that's that pink shading. It's a little burst of wind away. And you have this little area of wind moving toward the radar. And that's when they issued the tornado warning. And that's when they identified it, issued. That was about 11:11. You see the time up here. And as we move this forward, you can see that it has managed to sort of unravel some semblance of it, very weak right here. And now what they're doing is they're issuing a severe thunderstorm warning with it, because it looks like so what they've done is they've switched over to a severe thunderstorm warning with a tornado possible included in the warning on this here, because the area of rotation weakened. So no longer is it capable of a tornado, at least at this moment. But again, the reason for the tornado warning is that it quickly, and I'm backing this up and I'm going to play it out here a little bit, right around about in here, that's when they identified a little area of spin that was trying to get its act together for a scan or two on the radar, and it since then sort of lost that area of rotation. So the warning technically till 11:45, but it's already weakened, and so now what they're doing is they've overlapped it with this severe thunderstorm warning for the storm, and they've included the possibility it might try to spin up again for a tornado. But right now it's not tornadic. Even though the warning did come out, you see the warning has expired. So the Weather Service, a real credit to them here. They were really fast to pull the plug on that tornado warning. And I applaud them on that there. So sometimes the Weather Service office, they will sit on the tornado warning for a longer period of time before deciding to pull the plug on it. But they recognize that that was really a fast little spin and then just sort of dropped. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through it. This is live radar mode. Obviously, the closer you get to the radar, you're going to get more distortion in some of the data. That's just unfortunately the way it works with our radar and the beam. So it has a sort of this stretched look. But you see if I can bring this back as it was approaching McQueeney. See right in there. This is, I mentioned this in our newscast at 10 o'clock, just a little supercell, like a storm that, if the environment was really ramped up, boy, this would be a big, robust supercell. It'd be ripping across our area. But it's been doing its best with limited conditions, and it had structure on it. I mentioned that at 10. If you watch me, I said it's got structure on it. You can see sort of this little bit of a area of rotation right here. See this sort of little hook? And that was at 11:05 to 11:10. And it appears that there was just this little moment there with a scan on radar. Let me see if I can advance this just a little bit more. And right in here near southwest of McQueeney, that it was trying to rotate and maybe drop a tornado. And then no sooner did we see that on radar, and then it quickly unraveled. And so that's about the shortest lifespan of a tornado warning I've seen in our area. Was not in fact very long. Now what you have is just a real noisy storm with real heavy rain over McQueeney right now on the west side here of Seguin. And that's a severe thunderstorm warning that has now replaced it. And they're warning for hail inside that storm. And they've included the tag on the possibility. We want to watch it to see if it might try to spin up again. But it is not a tornadic storm. And here's the hail history on it here. And say zoom in there for you. And what I'm going to do is just kind of, right now, the hail in here is a little smaller. It's a large area of hail in that heavy rain. Right now it's more penny size hail. But you'll see as I back this up just a little bit, see right in there, that was at 11:15. So that was about like 10 to 12 minutes ago. This is hail that's quarter or a little bit larger than quarter size hail. So that right now is the primary hazard. It is no longer a tornado warn for storm. It is a severe thunderstorm on the west side of Seguin and McQueeney. Has hail in it. Right now the hail size has dropped to dime to penny size. That's what you see here. There's a lot of dime to penny size hail. P, dime, penny size. On the west side here of Seguin, and actually it looks like it just dropped just a touch more. Let me go in there a little closer for you. So you got heavy rain, and there's mixed in with some really small hail in here right now at the moment. Now, it did have a tornado warning, and that tornado warning was canceled early by the National Weather Service. And so what I'll do here is let me bring this in and get you right in there into Seguin. This is a really small storm, but boy, it has been a mighty little storm, fighting less than favorable environment to produce these, a couple of warnings. And it was just a little while ago when it was on the west-southwest side of McQueeney that it briefly was rotating. And the Weather Service felt compelled that the concern was that it might quickly try to drop a tornado. And then no sooner they issued the warning, then all of a sudden it unraveled. So right now it is not spinning. It's no longer a tornado warn for storm, but they did include the wording in it that we want to watch it to see if it tries to maybe try to spin back up because it's already done it once. And to kind of show you that, I'll back this up, and this is going to go, let's take this back right about in there. See, let me go back a little further. So this was at 11:07, really nothing to see there, and then all of a sudden you see right in here, that was the tornado warning that they decided they were going to issue a warning on. And so what you see is the pink, and the red and the pink is air moving away from the radar. And then this is air moving toward the radar. And so as you might imagine, right in here, you sort of have a little spin. It's what we call a velocity couplet. And so they issued this real quick tornado warning. And then as I move this forward just a little bit more, you see the radar scan come in. And it really weakened, which was good. There's nothing that I see, nothing there that implies a tornado. And so that was the good news. Is no sooner did it spin up, it spun down. And so now it's moving right into Seguin with just some wind gusts, probably on the order of 30, 40 miles an hour. And it does have a lot of small hail with it. And Jenna, there's no need to be in a shelter right now in terms of a tornado safe room. So if you're worried about that with the kids and the dog, it's just a noisy storm. It has a lot of heavy rain. It has a lot of small hail inside it, but it's not a tornado warn for storm. But it is noisy. So, but this is not a call to action. Get to a tornado safe room. Again, just kind of pulled this out. This orange polygon is a severe thunderstorm warning, and this is what it looks like. As I zoom this in, let me bring this in here. And you can see coming into Seguin now. So noisy storm, Seguin, getting really heavy rain in a short amount of time. And it is not spinning. There's nothing tornadic about it. It does have a lot of hail inside of it, but the hail size really has decreased. And I'll show you this product here. And let me bring this over, and there you go. And you actually can see in the animation, this is 30 minutes of data here on Hail Tracker, and you can see how it pulsed up. And you see those shades of blue, that's quarter size or a little bit larger when you get that deeper blue. And now notice how it's coming into Seguin, and it's very small. This is like pea size now. So we're now getting to the point where there's almost no hail inside it. It's just heavy rain. So it has really weakened quite a bit. So that's the good. There's a lot of good news here, and on top of all that is that we have heavy rain coming in, very heavy rainfall. And so right now, this storm, for those of you in Seguin and McQueeney, and let me kind of zoom this in here a little bit more for you. And let me pause here for just a second because I had I've had someone, one of my bosses has reached out to me, so let me go ahead and take that for a second. So now, to get you back up to speed here on where things stand, right over Seguin, and heavy rain. Okay, my apologies for some of the shakes there. So I have some folks ask me what's going on, checking in with me here. So I'm sort of multitasking here as I'm with you on this. So big thunderstorm coming through Seguin right now. It has the warning for it right now at the moment. And so again, my sincere apologies on that. All those pauses where you're not hearing from me, that's me talking to bosses. Want to ask what the status is on this storm here. So they're all getting caught up to speed. So again, coming right over Seguin, and we do still want to keep an eye on it, just in case it tries to make another attempt at a little bit of rotation here. Not seeing that. This is our radar velocity product, and what I do see here is signs of some wind gusts from it. So what you see, if I can, let me draw this in here. We call this a divergent pattern. Air here is moving away from the radar, and then it's moving toward the radar here. So you get some wind. The rain shaft, the downdraft from the storm hits the ground, and some of the air moves towards the radar when it hits the ground, some moves away. It's called a divergent pattern. But I do not see anything that's tornadic here on this storm. And so we'll see if perhaps, down in here, if there's some attempt at something to strengthen, but right now, not seeing anything of that nature there. So, but that's where it is. The storm is right over Seguin at the moment, probably 30, 40 mile an hour winds with the real heavy rain. And as we take a look here at our hail tracker product and bring this over for you, there you can see very small hail. So really right now at this moment, this is technically not even a severe thunderstorm based on all these parameters that you see here. It's just really loud, very heavy rainfall with it. And that's it. And if there's any hail, it's pea-size hail at the moment. So it came right back down. Now that said, as it moves further east in Guadalupe County, we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. But right now, all is really under control with this storm. So it does not have damaging hail. It does not have damaging winds. It does not have a tornado. There's no tornado warning on it. It's a severe thunderstorm warning. And even this warning here, when they transitioned at the Weather Service from a tornado warning to a severe thunderstorm warning, the argument could be made here that it's almost not even worthy of this warning. It's just a strong storm. They'll probably keep it up though for a while, just because it already had this one little spin-up attempt for one radar scan, and just in case it attempts something goofy again and maybe pulses back up. So I think they're going to let this ride probably a little bit. But right now, this is not a severe storm, but packing a punch there with the heavy rain, and it does have a little collection of cloud ground lightning strikes right over Seguin. And this storm, as I could take it back in time, just kind of you can see this was the original Schertz and Cibolo storm. And went right over with some pea to dime size hail. At one point, it was capable of maybe penny size hail. And you can see then over Marion, and then coming into McQueeney. And it was right there. You can actually see in the reflectivity signature, see right here. That was that little moment there where the Weather Service felt uncomfortable and they issued a tornado warning on it. And then it quickly in the next scan lost it. So really, that's one of the shortest lived tornado warnings I've ever seen here in our area. And a real credit to the Weather Service, because a lot of times they will not cancel a warning that fast, but they recognize they weaken and collapse really fast and there was no threat. And so rather than have everyone in hysteria thinking there's a tornado, they pulled the plug on it and they switched it over to this severe thunderstorm warning, and they inserted the tag into it with the language, possible tornado, rather than stick with the tornado warning. And now it's just a rainmaker and noisy over Seguin. So for those of you here joining me in Seguin, I got Bill Gary here saying you guys were spooked there at Tyson. I certainly understand that. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I was here and I was doing some housekeeping in our weather center and kind of watching things, getting ready to type up an email to our producers for the morning show on weather. And I looked up and I saw we were calling a tornado warning on News 4 on our station here. I have our TV. So I did a double take on that, and it completely caught me off guard. I have not been on guard for a tornado concern, and I saw that. So, yeah. So for those of you that were a little spooked and go, what in the world? I'll be honest with you. It totally caught me off guard, and here we are. So I just want to make sure that giving you some coverage on it. There it is. That's the latest scan. That's just live radar, and it's just a healthy thunderstorm. It's not severe necessarily, even though there's a warning, but it's not showing me anything in the way of damaging hail at the moment. And let me load this up here for you, and just kind of run through those parameters again. You see that's really small hail. This is pea to maybe dime size hail mixed in with the rain. Right now. So that's what you have over Seguin, pea to dime size hail, and really high rainfall rates. In fact, let me see if I can let me bring this in. I want to show you, I'm going to move this over just to kind of give you an idea. And let me go ahead and stop this. And just to kind of give you an idea of, inside this storm here. And you can see it capable of rainfall rates of 3.5 to over 4 inches per hour. So it is really put down and coming down in buckets. This is our radar velocity product, and nothing that's rotating here on it. So that's some good news there. And again, just kind of for those of you that just might be joining in here, the reason for all this excitement was because right there. That is where we had this one, and you can see here's the timestamp up here. See, it's 11:10 to 11:11. The Weather Service got concerned with that right there, southwest of McQueeney, and they issued that tornado warning for that little spin, that little area of spin right in there. And then as we got the next radar scan in, we already noticed that it was starting to weaken, and then it just totally collapsed and was gone. And so Weather Service, their meteorologist right now that's manning the warnings and radar, did an excellent job of moving on from that tornado warning and switching it over. And now, latest scan here, it looks even weaker with any kind of a signal. So let's go ahead and bring this in a little bit closer here for you. And there you can see it right now. That's back to being just sort of an ordinary thunderstorm. With maybe very small hail in there. It's still a feisty guy. I said this in our news at 10 o'clock, News 4 at 10 o'clock. I said, if we had the proper atmospheric conditions, higher instability with the wind shear that's available, this would have been a power pack supercell. We would have been really having a busy night tracking it from Bexar County into Guadalupe County. You can see with what it's working with here, it still has some semblance of some structure to it. So you can kind of make out, here's your, as I pause this here, updraft is down in here. So you have your inflow into the storm right down in here. And then the upper level winds kind of fan out the rain. And so, this is a little storm with some structure on it. And it's just not in a real amped up atmosphere to go hog wild and be a full-fledged power pack supercell. So what you have is a little storm that, instead of being just a little guard variety storm with just a blob, it actually has a little bit more structure to it, and it just needs a little bit more help to be more of a formidable storm. But it was enough to produce, for one radar scan out here towards McQueeney, a little area rotation, and it prompted a tornado warning from the National Weather Service. And as said, I commend them for quickly dropping that as soon as that little area rotation weakened. And so now you have this noisy little storm moving over Seguin, working right along I-10, heading towards Kingsbury, and it has a severe thunderstorm warning on it, and that's where you want to transition out of a tornado warning probably to a step down, and it was severe for a while with large hail of 1 inch or a little bit larger, but even the hail has decreased in size here. So as I pan this over, And on our hail tracker product, you can actually see in the 30-minute animation on the west side of Seguin, there was a period right there where we had, right about there, that's a lot of quarter, slightly larger than quarter size hail was showing up. And that was at the time we had the updraft at its strongest and little area rotation, rotating updraft. You're able to get a sustained little pocket of a larger hail core. And then as everything weakened with that updraft, the rotating updraft, and then the hail diminished and it pulsed down. And so now this is where we are now, and it's just a lot of pea-sized hail with some pretty heavy rain. But for those of you watching this coverage in Seguin, understand that you're in good shape. There's no need to be in a safe room. I had a couple of you I saw who were taking the kids to a safe room. You were concerned. You had that blip of a tornado warning for a handful of minutes, like I think 5 or 6 minutes it was in effect, and then it dropped. So we're doing all right. We're doing just fine. And National Weather Service says that they're going to discontinue the warning. So the severe thunderstorm warning is going to be expiring here quickly. You're going to see it drop out, and boom, right on command. See that? So this is no longer even a warned for storm. It's just a strong storm with a very small hail and heavy rain cutting through Seguin and heading through Kingsbury. And I will tell you, though, for those of you there in Seguin that were saying, boy, I'd love to get some rain. A lot of other areas are getting rain, and we just totally missed out. Well, there you got a quick shot of, that's a good inch. This storm has a history of 3/4 of an inch to about 1.25 inches of rainfall as it's been moving through Guadalupe County. And I kind of give you an idea, and here you can see it. Now, I haven't updated the Seguin rainfall total just yet. But you see here through Schertz and Cibolo, and this is now going to need to be updated here. But at the time when I put this together, when I was cobbling all the numbers, that's where we were in Schertz. So that number is going to be a little bit higher now. But it's been following that path into Seguin. And originally this rainfall here, that was up in North Seguin. There you see New Braunfels, earlier storms, over 2 inches of rain there. But you can see the path of that storm really hitting some zip codes here from around parts of Converse, Universal City, Live Oak, Windcrest, Schertz, Cibolo, Marion, areas that kind of felt left out. I heard from some of you earlier today that were really hoping and banking on seeing some rain, and we're checking off the box here for you with this storm. So coming in though, packing a punch and a little noisy, and there you go. And that's really sort of the last of it here. Is this one storm with this little batch. And this storm here is just going to cruise along I-10. That's where it's heading. See, this one up here was originally over New Braunfels and Geronimo to Redwood, and it's fallen apart. And while we're doing this here, just kind of let you know that I will be watching trends up here. And I do see the risk of some overnight into Friday morning scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm dropping down in. In fact, I'll go ahead and do our latest high-resolution model here, future radar. So you can see the future radar. Let me back this up. And it's doing okay out here. This model will try to initialize every hour with radar conditions around the country, and then it projects into the future how things will unfold with the atmosphere. That's the strength of this model. But sometimes you can look at how it's initialized and you say, it's totally missed these storms. It's got these over here. And so it's okay. That was an okay initialization. But you can get an idea of trends into the future moving forward. So now this is at 1 to 1:30 in the morning. You see not much out here, not much in Bexar County. And see that, now that's 2:30 to 3 in the morning. See right in here. And then as we unfold this through 5, 6, notice we're not talking about anything that's flooding. There's no severe weather. But it's just, you're just happy to see a little bit more rain for spots. And that's at noon. And so, we'll see on that. That's actually kind of a new scenario that's been presented here in this model. And you can see the pockets of heavy rain it suggests. So we'll see on that. That's not severe, but that's just some scattered showers, maybe a clap of thunder, as seen here by this one model. And so we'll be watching for those trends in the early mid-afternoon and see if that front coming in can do that. So that's Friday right there. But you see through the night, we're not looking at any severe weather, and just some scattered showers through the night into your morning commute tomorrow. In parts of the area, some scattered showers. And everything looks a little slower with that front, so that means the rain chance may have to linger into the early afternoon. I had it through about noon or so. And then you can see later in the day, everything shifts down towards the coast. And then here's Saturday while we're doing this. I think the only thing here I'd be a little bit cautious on is Saturday. I do have an isolated rain chance, 20%, right up through about near Highway 90 south. This model has them way down south here, but there are some other models that do have a shower sneaking in right around in here Saturday. I think Saturday overall you're going to think is a beautiful day. It'll be a little cloudier way down here with a little bit of a higher rain chance. But Saturday ends up being a beautiful weekend day. And then as we take this into Sunday morning, you can see the scattered showers and a few thunderstorms trying to come in. And so we'll watch that for you over the weekend. That's Sunday. That's 2 in the afternoon right there. So this is in the morning. So southern tier, this would be great for a lot of you down south that didn't see anything today. If this plays out like this, if this trend holds, that'd be nice to get you some rain down there. That would also have a better chance for Wilson County, Atascosa, Southern Bear in that scenario. And then that's the end of the day at 6 o'clock. But then there's another big system that's going to be coming in with a push of rain across central Texas. Some of that may in the Monday clip across our area. Okay, so that's where things stand here, folks. Again, just to reiterate, as we kind of wrap this up here for you, that thunderstorm, it no longer has any warning on it. And the tornado warning was only in effect for about 3 to 5 minutes over here southwest of McQueeney. Lost its rotation, just came over, was loud, and it had a few gusts of 40 miles an hour, but nothing that was tornadic. And but some gusts and some small hail through Seguin, very small hail. And it still has that semblance of structure too. When you look at it, you kind of see here's the inflow into the storm right there. And this is all heavy rain, and surrounded right in here might be a little bit of very tiny hail, very small hail in there. It's a strong storm. It's just not warned for anymore. And even the amount of lightning on it, as I did not turn off the lightning here, so just kind of show you, notice the amount of lightning here temporarily has dropped off. So that might be a sign that the updraft is just sort of a shell of itself. And to kind of give you a little look here at the velocity data, I just see some signs of some gusts still in it, probably 30, 40 miles an hour, still gusty inside it. And that's what we had through Seguin. As it was moving through Seguin, I could see some gusts of 30 to 40 miles an hour with some of the very small hail. All right. Okay, gang. Well, that'll do it here.